Welcome to the Big Movement Podcast. If you're ready to create results and make huge strides in your business, finances, personal development, and health, then you're in the right place. Pushing past excuses and powering through procrastination can be a challenge alone. Here, you'll get the support, tools, and knowledge you need to get to the level you desire in your business and life. Let's get started with your host, Byron Ingram.
And welcome to another episode of the podcast. And today we are going to talk about, are you playing too small? You know, often people talk about personal growth and development, but when it comes down to it, so many people are still stuck playing small despite what they say. Is it for a lack of trying? No. Is it for a lack of really learning to overcome things? No, not necessarily. It's often just in this form of self-sabotage that it's occurring at a subconscious level. You see, playing small is a result of a lifetime of conditioning. I want you to think about that for a moment. It's not just one day you woke up and said, I'm going to think small today because this whole thinking big is just a little too much. No. I want you to look back to when you're growing up. How often did you hear from someone, either a parent, a teacher, or someone along those lines, say this? All you need to do is go to school, get good grades, get a job, have a family, and you'll have this amazing life. You know, you have the white picket fence, the 2.5 kids, all those little things. So, ultimately all of us, we've heard something like that in one form or another when we were growing up. However, because we've heard this in our formative years, it left a huge imprint on how we think and behave day to day. So I want you to just pause for a moment and think how this affects you. If someone told you over and over and over again, when you're thinking of all these amazing things that you want to do, and someone just says, all you need to do to be happy is just go to school, get good grades, get a good job that gives you 2 paychecks a month, all those things, guess what you start focusing in on? Well, happiness, it's these things. You went to school, you got the good grades, and oh, look, you have the job, you have the 2, and let's say 2 or 3 kids because you don't really want to see half a kid. And guess what happens? That becomes your operating system. So the moment something takes you out of that, it scares the crap out of you. Or something like, ooh, this is a little scary, so it's no longer fitting this little blueprint that I'm working on. So what do? You sabotage yourself, so then you don't really do it. Because have you ever noticed that when you have this high amount of drive to achieve a certain set of goals, you knock them out of the park because it doesn't really affect that definition of success. But that moment when you do something that pushes you to the edge of your comfort zone, you kind of have that reaction like, whoa, slow down, buddy. This is a little scary. You're kind of approaching that fence line, that white picket fence. It's a dangerous world up there. What if we do something that goes wrong and it disrupts this blueprint of what we believe is happiness? And you know what happens? You start finding excuses for things like, oh, well, we can't do this, and poof, you don't do it anymore. So this is something that happens to everybody. And the only way to overcome this form of limited thinking that ultimately results in us playing too small is that we have to upgrade our operating system. It's that plain and simple as to what we must do. So first you have to recognize how you are sabotaging yourself. The easiest and fastest way to do this is to look past your goals and just look at the past ones, like the ones that you did, previously in your life that you didn't accomplish, but compared to the ones that you did, what did you do that you just said, oh, this is amazing. You just crushed the goals. Yes, you were excited you did it. But then look at the ones that for some odd reason or other, you just kind of fell flat on your face. Think about, what did you do to take you away from finishing those goals? You want to be very specific and figure out, well, what went wrong? What caused you to stop short? And make a list of everything. Look at all the goals, the things that you've said, oh, I'm going to do this year, and you didn't do it? Was it finding excuses like, well, maybe I'll go watch TV, or I'll go to the movies, I'll go happy hour with my friends? List everything out that took you away from achieving your goals, those activities. Now, the other component to this is you want to make this list of the emotions you felt when you began to sabotage yourself. What were those things you're feeling that made you feel like, oh, this is some scary stuff? Maybe I should go hang out with my friends instead. You want to know how you felt physically inside and make a list of those, because you might feel differently depending on what type of goal it was. Because you see, these two things are super critical and stopping yourself from going down that wrong path again. So what happens is you're able to now identify the behaviors and your emotional state that have prevented you in the past from doing those things. So now when you identify your goals and you're working on them, you begin feeling a little uneasy, you can stop yourself in the track. So it's like, oh, wait, I'm beginning to feel a little scary because I have that urge to go hang out with my friends instead of getting this stuff done. And because you recognize it, you now have the ability to disempower that limiting belief that's held you back from the success that you deserve and begin to be able to push through. That's the key to it. Because you see, this is just part of this equation, that you know what you need to be doing to stop yourself. And the other way is that if you're wanting to experience the growth that's been eluding you, you're going to have to create goals that are completely out of your comfort zone. You see, when you begin pushing through the barriers that hold you back, you realize you're able to achieve so much more, because what happened is, over time, you've just pulled yourself back. So the goals you create, they're still within that picket fence line. Like the idea of going across the street, maybe going across town, oh, that's scary. But the only way you're going to grow is you have to push yourself to say, here are my new goals. They're really big, and it's going to scare the crap out of you. So the moment you feel the wrong way, you just keep pushing, because what happens is our goals that we have been establishing for ourselves in the past have been things in our comfort zone, and they're there because we say to ourselves, I can do this, so it's okay. There's a certain level of safety because we want a high level of certainty in everything that we do. So in order to scale beyond that, we have to create those goals that scare the crap out of us, because then think of that little border where, if it's at the fence line. Well, now what you're doing is you're moving that little, let's say, yellow line from behind the fence to across the street. And now you have to get to that line. That's what you're doing when you're creating these bigger goals, because you're stepping outside of that comfort zone. You're no longer behind the safety of your fence. You're into that strange new world. Think like back when you were a kid, the first time you crossed the street, it might have seemed a little scary, like this is a big road. It really isn't when you look at it now, but back then it was. But then the first time you cross, you're like, that wasn't so hard at all. This is pretty easy. Or the first time that you drove a car on the freeway, at first you're like, this is scary now. Like, yeah, I've got this, because you've had to do things that took you outside of your comfort zone. And this is what you must do consistently, day in and day out, is establish new boundaries for yourself. However, if you're truly wanting to increase the probability that you're going to achieve these new goals you just set for yourself, because you realize that this whole limiting belief blueprint that you've been working on is a bunch of BS that's held you back, you need an accountability partner. Someone that's going to hold your feet to the fire. So you're going to want somebody that will call you out on your crap. They're not going to coddle you. You don't want your friends like, no, it's okay, just come down to happy hour with us. No, those are the wrong people, because those are the ones going to keep you back in your comfort zone, because they are still operating on that old blueprint. So for them, you doing these things is scary, and it's not because they don't love you or anything. They're just like, well, we don't want to see you get hurt, so come back to the safety zone here, and you can relive the glory days as we just pound back a few cold ones. No. You need the people that are going to say, do it anyways, because I'm going to put a foot to your rear if you don't. That's the type of accountability partner you need. that person, like, if you're going to work out at the gym first thing in the morning, you know that if you're not up at 5:15, saying you're going to be there at 5:30, they're calling you like, are you up yet? That's the type of person that you need to hold you accountable to get these things done. Because you see, breaking through those limiting beliefs, especially at the beginning, can be painful because it's requiring us to leave those comfort zones that we've lived in for so long behind. But once we do it, that's when we can grow. And when they're truly behind us, thinking small and playing small will be a thing of the past. So I hope you've enjoyed this episode today. And do me a huge favor. If you found value in this, and I know you did, go ahead and hit that share button. Because someone out there needs to hear this message today, because they've been playing small for far too long in their life, and they need to start playing bigger because they have bigger things to achieve and people to influence with their knowledge and their gifts they've had their entire lives. Now it's time for them to shine. So go out there and have an amazing day.
Thanks for listening to the Big Movement Podcast today. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode. Now that you've surely been inspired to take your entrepreneurial career and business to the next level, you can stop by the website and get more. And if you're ready to boost your business brand, be sure to grab your free report, 7 Easy Steps to Build Your Brand Today.